I'm sorry, folks. We're currently experiencing technical difficulties. I should be able to fix this here in just a second. It's supposed to be live.
And write them all out, and you can check them off as they go here in a little bit. 11 Republicans, 10 Democrats. Once that vote happens and he is reported out of the committee favorably, we expect that things are going to start in the full Senate tomorrow morning. They'll hold the first vote to essentially launch formal full Senate debate on the nomination.
Oh, gosh.
There'll be another procedural vote at some point on Monday, and we anticipate that an actual final confirmation vote would occur on Tuesday. A few things to keep in mind. If for some reason here in the next few minutes...
Supreme Court nomination moving forward despite sexual assault allegations.
Kavanaugh instead of the majority, it still gets referred to the full Senate. And it's up to the Senate leader to decide whether or not to hold that vote and still consider the nomination. It's happened in the past.
Okay.
It'll happen in the future. And
that is depressing and disappointing.
The nomination to the floor of the Senate.
That is depressing and disappointing.
At this point, waiting on the fate of
for many reasons.
Senators across the 100-member body. Susan Collins of Maine, a Republican. Lisa Murkowski, Republican of Alaska. Joe Manchin of West Virginia. And Heidi Heitkamp, Democrat of North Dakota. At this point, they're really the only four who haven't said what they plan to do. We know that they are still mulling that decision, and basically they've got to show their cards by Saturday morning when that first procedural vote happens. And at that point, it essentially gives us a sense of how the vote would go on Tuesday, and we start to lose some of the drama and the uncertainty around all this. So it's the next few minutes here where we now anticipate it will be an 11-10 vote, where and that essentially then begins the formal process of taking it to the floor.
And I heard Senator McConnell say that even if they don't vote this out of committee and judiciary, he's still going to take it up in the Senate. Is what I'm hearing accurate? And can he do that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. As Senate leader, he has the ability to do that. He has the ability to override committees and bring anything he wants to the floor. It's the awesome power that whoever is Senate leader has. And it's been one of the complaints about the Senate in recent years under Democratic and Republican control, that the leaders can basically do whatever they want and bypass the committees, which traditionally have held much more power in deciding what ultimately gets decided by the full Senate.
You're so right, Ed, about these procedures. It gives us a window into exactly how Congress runs. We're sitting here, Susan Collins.
So basically right now they're just
waiting to see what these potential swing voters, where they might turn. And I want to thank you. We're going to check
talking about how they are still going to confirm the nomination.
What's the reaction?
Wonderful. Oh, wonderful. Lovely. Just fan-friggin-tastic. I tell you what, it's a circus if I've ever seen one. It's a media circus. It's a, it's just all around awful. It's all around awful. It's just, why are we even here if this is how the vote is going to go? If this is how the vote is going to go, why even do this? Why even do this? Why?
Kavanaugh's testimony, because there was one point
it makes no
after just hearing
sense.
Dr.
It
Ford
makes no
officials say that,
sense.
Staffers were
Makes no
worried,
sense.
frankly,
Why?
because her testimony was also so powerful and compelling, and they were not sure what they would get.
God, why?
Kavanaugh, because the last time we saw
We're gonna vote in a guy who is probably more reprehensible than anybody else.
He was almost robotic, and he
I don't
received
know.
criticism from that. Officials say from President Trump, because we know that the president values performance, especially when cameras are rolling, and I think that he believes that Kavanaugh in that interview could have done better, and he certainly delivered yesterday before the Senate Judiciary Committee. So I think there's an overwhelming sense of relief and optimism here. As
Brett Kavanaugh had a wonderful performance. I would give him 5 Emmys. Yeah.
I want to bring in our panel here.
Why does his performance make any difference? Any difference? Why? Why? Just why?
Contributor and Republican
I don't know.
who is a Democratic strategist. Okay, Caitlin.
Democratic strategist. I'm sorry, but
what stands out to you as we're on these votes?
Well, I think Jeff Flake coming out this morning saying that he will vote to confirm Kavanaugh, I think really changed the game in terms of
I think the term Democratic strategist is quite
he was a wild card really heading into this, really not explaining
quite a
on this vote. Yesterday putting saying kind of lamenting the whole process and also raising questions about believability and who comes who to believe. He wasn't quite sure
extra
he had the
donation
even in his statement this morning.
Goal for September followers. Yay, let's go.
Saying that there's as much doubt as certainty as it pertains to Kavanaugh. So if in fact the committee does vote as we're expecting it to
I don't know.
Kavanaugh,
It makes no
momentum, and Republicans are already feeling momentum after yesterday.
It makes no sense.
The key is the timing and getting this done quickly so that there isn't room for more polling, more reaction from the public, other things that could influence votes.
Niall, Caitlin was talking about the Republican momentum, but the Democrats are trying to create their own momentum. 4 of them walked out, led by Kamala Harris. Do we know those moderate red state Democrats, do we know how they're voting at this point?
We do in a couple of cases, and this actually builds on the point that Caitlin was making about Republicans. On the Democratic side, we're seeing people who might have been expected to buck the party line not doing so. Joe Donnelly in Indiana particularly is a prime example of this. He's going to vote against Kavanaugh. I was speaking with a Republican source last night who, having heard Judge Kavanaugh's testimony, believed that a couple of red state Democrats could be flipped on.
I'm sorry, I can't handle this. Okay, so Brett Kavanaugh looks like he's going to be confirmed for the position on the Supreme Court nomination. So, despite sexual assault allegations, despite all of the shit that he did, despite all of the crap that we've got all this information on, despite the fact that we haven't even had a formal investigation. Oh, well, let's vote in another asshole. We already have one for president. Why the hell not? It makes no flippin' sense. It really doesn't. I don't understand a single way how this could be anything other than just, oh, it looks like something's happening. It looks like something's happening. What's happening? I don't know, but we'll find out soon. But at this point in time, I should not be surprised. I should not be surprised. I should not, but I am because, oh, well, I thought for sure we'd actually have, I don't know, maybe a sensible amount of people that are not going to be, I don't know. I don't know. Do I want to know? No. Do I want to care? Not really. Am I caring? Yes. Why? Because I am, if nothing else, I am a staunch supporter of truth, of the process, and of everything else. But, yeah, so right now I have 660 real-time views for the last 48 hours. Let's see how far we can get up to there. I want to get up to 450 before the end of the week. I want to get up to 500 before the end of the next month if I can. I'd like to get to 1,000 before the end of the year, or before the end of next year. I'd love to be able to get to 30,000 before I'm 30. Anything exciting happened in the vote so far? I haven't been watching. Other than just the fact that it looks like they're still going to put him through despite everything he's being called out on. Nothing exciting. Just, All the crap as usual. All the crap as usual. Yeah, they're gonna put through an ass. It's like, oh well, we already have one for president. Why not have one on the Supreme Court? Yay! I swear this country's run by morons, and we live here. Why can't we just go ahead and just say, can we move to another country for free? Hey, I'll tell you what. I don't care. I don't care about politics. I don't care about whether or not I have the nicest things. I just want to move to a country where the politicians are somewhat sensible. If you can pay me to leave the country because you don't like me and you're not wanting any part of my crowd, I will willingly go to the UK or to Canada or wherever else other than here, because I don't like America anymore as far as politics. I mean, having civil liberties that we have here is great, and not having to worry about terrorist attacks or anything else because we've got a pretty secure system so far is great. But as far as watching our politics fall apart one by one because we're having people that probably don't even belong in politics getting involved because why not? Yeah. America's headed downhill. America's headed for a crappy time. They're headed for a crappy time.
Feels like this is a culture war about kind of whose side are you on. That feels like that came up here unexpectedly. We weren't expecting this to be a culture war.
That was certainly a moment, especially for women. We keep talking about it over and over again. Caitlin, you know, at this point, Democrats have tried many things. They don't have the numbers. They don't have the voting power. Is there anything they can do at this point to keep Kavanaugh off the court?
Well, right now they're trying to apply pressure.
They're trying to say that this was a culture war thing at the end of it. That they brought in the culture war between men and women.
Over the past couple of weeks, in terms of the advertising dollars
in a way, yeah,
targeted at those two senators. So right now they're trying to create momentum.
In a way, yes. In a way, it turned into basically a media circus. It turned into a joke.
That's what they could do.
It turned into basically, oh, he said, she said, and let's go ahead and just muddy the waters because why not? I mean, I don't know about you. I'm just getting tired of the whole back and forth. You're a horrible person. Well, you're a sexist. Well, you're a racist. Well, you're a bigot. Well, you're a...
And the way that Republicans have done for years and years and years.
And there are some people who are not leaving it up.
It is tiring. It's like, why do we even stay on here? The reason I'm streaming now instead of later is because I'm going to be leaving the home at 6. Let him go on with his day, people. I'm sorry. It's one thing to just talk to somebody in an indignant way. It's another thing to hold someone up from doing their job, from doing what they need to do. I'm sorry, but if I were an important government official and I needed to get somebody somewhere.
At this point, do we know exactly what played into Jeff Flake?
Senator Flake. I think he is a flake. The 24/7 news cycle was a big downfall for this country. I agree. I mean, nowadays we have 24/7 news channels that broadcast anyone and everyone's business. They hash and rehash the same stories with different people, different opinions, different perspectives, and they muddy the waters that way, and then nobody knows exactly what's going on as far as the facts. Everyone just knows the opinions behind the facts. And that's the problem with modern American journalism. Modern American journalism is a sham. It's not really journalism anymore. It's just, how can we fill the time and make money? I mean, how can we fill the time, make money, and at the end of the day, turn a profit from people's misery, people's personal lives, and people's gripes with other people? I mean, come on. Do we need to hear about the exorbitant amounts of money that was spent on a celebrity's funeral, and how the body got changed into 3 different types of clothing over the course of the whole thing, and yada yada yada? And at least that's what they said about Aretha Franklin's wedding. They said that hey dude, how are you? Long time I see you live. I'm sorry, I've been streaming in the evenings around 7 p.m. So you probably can't watch then, because you're probably already in bed. I know there are a lot of my viewers that are actually from extremely different time zones, and so therefore there are a lot of you that can't watch when I'm streaming, so I do apologize. I will try and accommodate my foreign viewers so that way you can still watch. Right now, I'm just watching the media circus that is the situation over here in America. American politics. Be back in like 10 minutes. Okay, that's fine. Go ahead. Go ahead. I probably won't stream for too long anyway. I've got other work to do, so I'll probably go off the air in about an hour or so, or whenever they finish up with this shit. But yeah, I'm gonna try and stream at least every other day. I'll stream earlier, that way people can watch if they're in a different country, so that way they're not left out. I know how bad that can be. I'm also going to be uploading content for on demand on Twitch, so that'll be something that hopefully will appease you and please you and make you happy. Yeah, like I said, I'm just watching the media circus that is the Kavanaugh confirmation hearing and all this crap about how we're basically voting in representatives that are probably the worst of the worst. They're like the bottom of the sour cream container, curdled and moldy crap that really can't be eaten, but you scrape it out of there anyway so you can reuse the container for other stuff or whatever. And you smell it and it's like, oh, how can this be so horrible? That's the kind of people we're voting into office these days, because the American people are constantly being lied to about the facts versus just opinions of different people. And I do believe we're getting back to an actual vote, so I will go ahead and
both Republicans are discussing moving together, perhaps one way or another.
Nope, they're not. They're just still sitting around and waiting, I guess. I thought for sure we'd actually hear a vote before the end of the day. Then again, considering how long the Kavanaugh confirmation shit went on yesterday, I wouldn't be surprised if it was still going after I left. And yeah, I'll probably keep this on in the background and just wait to see what happens, but I'm pretty sure that at the end of the day it's going to be oh, well, we want an asshole rather than actually having good stuff done, so why not? If you guys can support the stream by donating or by sharing the stream on Twitter, Facebook, and other places, I would appreciate very much, because I do like to reach more and more people with my messages, with my special brand of humor and just political know-how, because, to be honest, I may not know the ins and outs of politics, but I know that when my sound is buggy,
I have to say, I was surprised. If there's
I'm sorry, it might be
this country that has a lot to lose, it could potentially be this group. So why? Tell me a little bit about the Hispanic voters, and who do you think, in particular, if Kavanaugh...
Is it my microphone or is it the media part?
You know, the interesting part, we have wanted for generations...
Because I've had problems with the artifacts on sound streaming videos and stuff anyway.
They tend to turn out more in national elections than in midterms.
Here, I'll turn it down a bit. 144p. Oh. Oh, okay, that.
Person who's at the top of the ticket.
Just a second.
A lot of polling for years.
Let me go ahead and did that help any? It probably might. I don't know. It might. It might not.
Color or newer immigrant communities. But on the issue you're talking about, whether it is the raids, whether it is the Dreamers, whether it is the wall,
it worked. Okay, I'm going to turn the video quality back up, because that way I can actually read stuff. But yeah, it's just, it's a media circus right now. So tell me, what's going on? Well, with me personally, well, my best friend and probably the oldest friend I've had, his mom's in the hospital right now with sepsis. Basically, her blood is infected and everything. She got a back stimulator put in. She's 73, 74. She got a back stimulator. Oh, what is happening there? What? Who's that woman? The woman here, just a newscaster of some kind, I guess. Oh. Anyway, she's gonna pull through as far as what the doctors say, but I don't know. It's just it's really a just the stream just went dark. It figures. Oh, there we go. That works. Okay. Must have just been a glitch. A glitch. Okay. But no, she's going to pull through, but dang, it's just, we're going to have to clean out her room, because the thing that got her infection started was they had a cat in their house, and the cat would go in onto her bed and piss and shit, and this last time he even vomited on the bed, and it's awful, and I'm like, no wonder she got sick, and yeah. Nobody knew, because she didn't say anything except for cleaning it up and then throwing everything away. And it's like, hello? Well, no. He wouldn't normally shit on the bed, but he would piss on the bed right beside her head, too. It's like, seriously? Right beside where she put her head. Why? No clue. But it's just, okay, so the cat's out. We're going to have to seriously deep clean that place. And then when she comes back after being in the nursing home for a while, hopefully everything will work out and be better. So yeah, I know, right? Sorry, don't mean to talk about nasty stuff. Or are you frustrated about the sound again? Is it back? Is the echo back? I don't know. It's just, I tell you what, it's awful. Oh, looky here. I think something's happening. Let's listen. Oh, come on. Don't do this to me. All I need to do is watch. I just need to watch this and give my opinion, and then we can go. Hopefully, we can go.
Democrats who chose today to walk out. Take us back and explain sort of what happened today.
So essentially, Chuck Grassley, the Republican chairman, was reading a statement in support of Kavanaugh, and at that point, 4 Democratic senators walked out. The most prominent among them is Senator Kamala Harris of California.
Ooh, ow. So, yeah. A few Democrats walked out of the Senate during the committee meeting, and evidently, yeah, it was pretty bad. Oh, come on, just let me get through this. Let us all get through this, hopefully. Okay, let me go ahead and just turn this to auto, and then that will hopefully fix the issue.
Far to the left, it's not possible to get too adamant in your opposition to this guy. So it was interesting to me that Harris was leading that.
There we go.
Taking the lead in talking to reporters at
Senate Judiciary Committee vote on Kavanaugh. Soon, it says. It's said soon for a while, so you never know exactly when it's going to happen.
The members of the Senate Judiciary Committee, Lindsey Graham there, Orrin Hatch as well.
Yeah. Lauren Hatch, Mr. Graham, Lindsey Graham. Very interesting name for a guy.
Certainly being praised in Republican circles for standing up. A lot of people feel that Judge Kavanaugh was wrongly accused.
Oh, wrongly accused.
And it's part of these Democratic shenanigans and a smear campaign, which is all part of the talking points of the Trump administration.
Oh, gosh.
I would give, again, because saying there's 2 sides to this, is look at the other outside institutions, whether it be Harvard University,
Yale.
American Bar Association, that are saying maybe.
Who's this Kavanaugh? He's a politician here in America who is currently being accused of sexual misconduct from 30-some years ago. Who 5 different women have come forward so far. I'm sure there are others that would have. Yesterday they had a hearing. It was basically a job interview, pretty much, for Kavanaugh. And one of the women, a woman by the name of Christine Blasey Ford, came forward. Let me go ahead and just mute this a second. Woman by the name of Christine Blasey Ford came forward and was testifying as to how she went through all of this, and then Kavanaugh comes out swinging, pretty much, saying, "I never did this. This is a smear campaign." And of course, as soon as he was done, Trump comes onto Twitter and says, "And this is why this is why I nominated him for Supreme Court, and he showed America why I think he needs to be on the Supreme Court and everything else." And it's like, seriously, I don't know. I think Kavanaugh, I think a lot of these politicians in power right now are kind of just, they all are just reaffirming one another in, "Oh, you're a good guy. No, you're a good guy. No, you're a good guy." And denying each other's faults, denying their own faults, assuming no responsibility for any of their wrongdoing, even if they have done it. I mean, one could argue, oh, it's been 30-some years ago. This woman obviously doesn't remember right, or maybe she just came out now with it because she wants to sabotage whatever opportunities he has. And that could very well be the case. I'm not sure that it is. I mean, I think it's more of just a fear of coming forward after being victimized in such a way. I mean, wouldn't you feel afraid of coming forward and saying that somebody who's a high-ranking official in government had assaulted you when you were young, when you were both in your teens in high school? Come on. Just that kind of fear can really paralyze someone to their own to her own credit, she did do a very good job of being brave despite everything going on. She was very brave and said what she needed to say about what she went through. I think that was very courageous of her. But we're still just awaiting the Kavanaugh Supreme Court nomination vote on him. So we'll see what happens here in a bit, hopefully. And I kind of want him to lose. Because, to be honest, I don't feel that he deserves to be confirmed as a confirmed as a member of the Supreme Court, because if you can't follow the law, how can you uphold the law or make decisions on the law? Oh wait, I think this might be it. No, it's not it. There's still people not there yet. But I'll go ahead and leave the sound on because it's probably... Bucking party lines sounds like a plan, but at the same time, I would want to buck the party lines in a way that would serve everyone well, not just one person, or not just one side.
The Supreme Court had been the last sort of bastion of the idea that people can transcend partisan lines if you were nominated by a Republican president. Or
I don't know though. It's just it's
the rest of your tenure on the Supreme Court.
It's depressing to see everybody going just by party lines and nothing else. I don't know.
A bit of a shame, but I think it's inevitable.
I'm so sorry, but on his point, so
I think it's an inevitable truth, but I also think it's an inevitably depressing accusation that there would be a political motivation for all of this, but at the same time, I understand why it could be considered that.
He is the accused versus being the judge, but there was a line he crossed that was so partisan, it made a lot of people pause. And to Caitlin's point about, the evangelicals, the reason the glue was there was protecting religious freedoms, defunding Planned Parenthood, which the president gave. They're willing to be blind for everything else to have those protections you have solely through the Supreme Court. So that's why this is so
Joel, I know you want to make a point, but I just want to take you live here for 1 second to give you an image here. This is the Senate Judiciary Committee. If you look very closely, look at those chairs. A lot of senators not in those chairs. We're hearing from our Ed O'Keefe. All Democrats are out of the hearing room, and a good portion of their Democratic staff, those are the people who usually sit behind the senators, they just exited the hearing room. It's now 1:38 p.m. Eastern. 8 minutes ago, they were supposed to hold this vote. They've been waiting for the Democrats to show up And as our Ed O'Keefe is reporting, they did not show up, and their own staffers, their Democratic staffers,
good Lord.
actually exited the room. Joel, what's your
So basically, the Democrats left.
For a second, one of my favorite topics. Look, you don't get to be majority leader unless you can count votes. Okay, everybody knows that. And so let's think about this. Okay, 51-49. Okay, so Republicans can essentially afford to lose 2 if they replace them with 1 Democrat, or they can afford to lose 1 and then Pence is the tiebreaker. So you could potentially see a scenario here where Republicans lose a Murkowski, okay, but they replace a Murkowski with like a Manchin or a Heitkamp. I think that's fascinating, and I think that's going to be really interesting dynamics for a Democrat like that, who essentially gives Donald Trump his Supreme Court justice when he couldn't even keep his entire party in line. I think that's a really fascinating phenomenon that could emerge this afternoon. And while Joe Manchin is probably bulletproof in a place like West Virginia, because no one's going to run to the left of him there, or Heidi Heitkamp in North Dakota.
Good Lord. So basically right now, the
progressive wing of the party,
Democrats are stonewalling the whole thing by not being present. And because they're not...
I believe that they do. I know viewers can then call in and complain how wrong I am, but I believe it's considered an abstention by Democrats if they don't show up.
Okay. Fascinating to see it. Watch. I mean, just the fact, this image that is being broadcasted internationally at this point. That Democrats chose not to attend at 1:30. We know, Joel, you were talking to your point about the math. We know at this point that the Republicans, they have the majority.
Yeah, so the Republicans had the majority. The Democrats are, as of now, absent from the room.
They don't have the votes
so
to overtake the majority.
It's really just a waiting game. It's waiting for them to take the vote with the Democrats in abstention, or waiting for the Democrats to come back and seeing how the votes lie, seeing how the votes turn out. Because on the one hand, you have the potential for a swing vote, and then from there you have the potential for Brett Kavanaugh to be denied, but at the same time you also have the possibility that the Democrats won't come back, and then of course Brett will be confirmed, but only because the Democrats abstained from the process as a demonstration of their their view of no confidence in Judge Kavanaugh, which, you know, I really do understand why they might do that. I mean, really, there's a very slim chance of being able to actually block the vote from carrying him through. And there's a real chance that we can get Kavanaugh in despite his character and behavioral past.
New York Times today, 100% Dr. Blasey Ford here, and then 0. I'm 100% certain that none of these allegations are true. I'm curious what the headline for tomorrow's newspaper will be now that we're trying to have this vote. And as we know, Senator McConnell's weighed in saying it's still going to go to the Senate floor.
Well,
this is again, you win the battle, maybe perhaps lose the war. The battle is they must get this conservative Supreme Court justice confirmed. That's the goal line before the midterm election. And everything else, people have rationalized. It's a case of mistaken identity, and he's still a very strong juror.
But
we're getting some, I just want to weigh in here, we're getting some reporting from, I believe this is from our Nancy Cortez, who's saying that Flake has not appeared in this hearing room. Is one
of Flake hasn't appeared.
Graham is now going back to an adjacent room. The only senators that are currently in this hearing room. And you guys correct me if I'm wrong. I can't see fully here. I see it's Kennedy, Hatch, Grassley. Graham is actually in that room. So,
Ow.
Kennedy, Hatch, Grassley, and Graham, the only ones in the room right now.
Ow.
It's so strange, and people keep
This-
saying, "Oh, this the Democrats are calling for this FBI inquiry, and the whole process has been politicized." So there is truth to that. That they should never have revealed the identity of Dr. Ford. She deserved that. But now that it's in this heightened environment, there are still questions remaining about Judge Kavanaugh, and they will vote in the affirmative.
I mean, of course there are questions about the guy. Of course there are questions about him.
I wish I could say one for one. This is going to percolate. This is going to be talked about in the beauty parlors, and on the golf range, at the elite boarding schools, in the ivory tower.
Yeah.
Just everybody's getting a car wash. This is because the interesting part you talked about it. People were saying, "I saw this, but I didn't hear it." I saw this, but I didn't hear it. Maybe perhaps people are going through an airport. They're not necessarily listening. But reasonable people are saying, what is the rush? Can we finally just really know the truth here about what happened?
The rush is they want to push this guy onto the Supreme Court as quickly as possible, and then from there they want to take that victory and use it to push some legislation that is in their favor.
Earlier that they have no choice is what they got to do. Is it really? Because I would argue if you're a Republican, the best scenario could be Brett Kavanaugh is convincing, he withdraws, you put another conservative who's just as strong, and you use it to whip up your base this November. Instead, you have an opposite situation where now women and Democrats are even more galvanized.
I want to interrupt for 1 second.
Yeah.
I see Senator Flake in there, Senator Dianne Feinstein, some of the Democrats emerging there.
There we go.
Grassley has also entered. I'm not sure exactly what the discussions have been. Our Capitol Hill team is on the ground there, also trying to figure out exactly.
Question arise over Senator Flake's commitment to voting yet.
We were just saw Flake enter and
Is
exit.
Flake
I'm
a...
going to ask you guys. Let's say Flake decides he's changing his mind because these aren't committed votes yet until you cast your vote. What happens? What does that mean?
Well, essentially it means that
Senator
will not have a majority of the committee unless something totally unexpected happens. That would be a very serious black mark against him. And remember, we all try to make predictions according to procedure, but unexpected things can happen. The famous vote where John McCain voted against the repeal of the Affordable Care Act.
Republican. Okay, Republican. That makes sense.
That on a procedural matter, and then changed his mind. Just to get back to a point that Leslie raised, the fact that this is the kind of issue that transcends the political bubble or bursts out of the political bubble, I think that's really important. That Christine Blasey Ford's testimony had such visceral force yesterday. A female friend of mine from the other side of the Atlantic was saying, that could have been me. She was watching it thinking that could have been me. That's not the kind of visceral issue that politics typically throws up. And I think that's where its power resides. And
this is where the power switch.
Why people still have not really.
This is where
to their conclusion as to what it
this is where the fulcrum lies, where the balance will shift.
Senator Flake exit the room with Dianne Feinstein. They are now back in an adjacent back room right now, discussing and talking at this point. We know the Judiciary Committee vote, as we were expecting 20 minutes ago, really. It's now delayed. A senator in the room confirms that via text message, that something is afoot involving Senator Jeff Flake of Arizona. What is it? This note from Ed O'Keefe says,
Senator Jeff Flake.
And there's also a top Democratic aide saying regarding Flake, it looks like he is wavering. I asked
this might be good. This might be good.
And this is a quote.
I mean,
can't tell. I wasn't in there.
Yeah, either way, they're going to try and push it through anyway, but still. If you have a flip-flop.
This is a really fascinating thing because sensible people believe
if you have a flip, who knows what could happen next?
Just clear the air some.
Who knows? Who knows? I mean,
conclusion. That's a term we heard this morning. We heard about another person who said his wife called him after watching this testimony and said, "Can you take some time right now because I need to speak to you about this?" And she just really had to process this with her husband because
this is different. Wow. Hey guys, you watching this? Are you watching this?
This is generating, which is
dang, this is
in ways that people just
fully
process in 24 hours. They need a second, and if we rush this, that's my challenge to Republicans. If he's a good enough,
I challenge you to watch this. Actually watch, because this is
which is fair. A wave is coming.
Leslie, hold on 1 second. Senator Grassley is gaveling in. Let's listen in.
Until the fall of the gavel.
Ooh. Oh, come on. Come on.
This vote in this committee for a week so that that Ms. Ford, Dr. Ford, could be heard, and she was yesterday.
Yeah.
So that's with that agreement, I will vote to advance the bill to the floor.
Clerk will call the roll.
Just wait, just 1 second. Can Diane speak?
Could we have a description? Yeah, what are we voting on? Let's see.
We are voting on the motion to report the nomination to the floor. The clerk will call the roll.
Wait, that's not my understanding of what, Mr. Chairman, let the senator explain it.
That is my understanding, and if the Democrats could speak to it, if Chris or you, as we talked about before, that the Democrats would accept and endorse a 1 week FBI investigation limited in time and scope.
Well, that is correct. Since you're the deciding vote here, we'll vote, and then if there's any sort of discussion, we'll go do that after the vote. Call the roll.
Mr. Hatch. Aye. Mr. Graham. Aye. Mr. Cornyn. Aye. Mr. Lee. Aye. Mr. Cruz. Aye. Mr. Sass. Aye. Mr. Flake.
Aye.
Okay.
Mr. Tillis. Aye. Mr. Kennedy.
This is on the nominee.
Mrs. Feinstein.
On the nominee, no.
Mr. Leahy.
On the nominee, no.
Mr. Durbin. No. Mr. Whitehouse. No. Ms. Klobuchar.
No.
Mr. Coons.
On the nominee, no.
Mr. Blumenthal.
No.
Ms. Hirono.
No.
Oh, jeez. This is different. This is,
The nominee will be reported to the floor.
Mr. Chairman, may I be recognized?
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just want to thank my friend and colleague, Senator Flake.
Okay.
Thank you for giving us the time today to have a conversation.
all right, you have a good day, Jerzen. You have a good one.
For
Jerzen.
a 1 week delay in order that there might be an FBI investigation of what allegations are currently before this committee. I respect Senator Flake's view that in his opinion it was best to respect your having given Dr. Ford the time to be heard yesterday and advance the nominee to the floor. But it is my hope that we could work together on a bipartisan basis to diligently pursue an FBI investigation within the next week, not for the purpose of delay, but for the purpose of investigating further either allegations made by Dr. Ford or others, with a goal towards demonstrating a bipartisan commitment to diligently investigating these allegations. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Senator Flake.
Senator Feinstein.
Thank you. I would support that motion. I think we do need this investigation. As a matter of fact, I sort of misunderstood, Senator Flake, what you were doing. I thought it included a 1 week investigation. So I would like to support the motion for that investigation.
Mr. Chairman.
We'll take turns here. Senator.
I love this committee, but we're not the majority leader. Senator Flake has made clear what it would take him to be comfortable on a final passage vote. But it doesn't matter what we say here. This will be up to Senator Schumer and Senator McConnell. So
it is completely up to them.
Yeah, and I think Jeff has made himself very clear, and
Senator,
let's move.
Senator Leahy. Senator Leahy.
Well, Mr. Chairman, I want to make sure, because this is somewhat unprecedented. When I do agree with the senator from Arizona that we should have this further investigation. So my understanding is that during the week that is taking place, there will be no action on the floor of the United States
on this nomination. Is that correct?
I cannot say that.
Let me say again, I can't make that commitment for the leadership. I can only say that I would be only comfortable moving forward on the floor. I'll move it out of committee, but I will only be comfortable moving on the floor until the FBI has done more investigation than they have already. It may not take them a week. I understand that some of these witnesses may not want to discuss anything further, but I think we owe them due diligence.
Mr. Chairman.
Follow it up.
Just a minute. All I have said to Senator Flake is that I would advocate for the position he took, but I don't control that. Senator?
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, Senator Klobuchar.
Mr. Chairman, there are other senators as well who may be interested in this negotiation on the Republican side, and there's not really a set agreement here. All of us had already said we were voting no. It is simply Senator Flake working with all of us to say, for the good of the Senate and the good of the court, the American people deserve to have the facts followed up on, and I really appreciate his willingness to do that, and that is what this is about. This is simply about, and by the way, if Senator McConnell wants to go forward in light of that, and we still have several senators that haven't said how they're voting on this nominee, I actually think this is very important what just happened right now. So it doesn't have to have an agreement. It is one senator who's standing up.
Senator Cornett.
Mr. Chairman, I just want to express my appreciation to Senator Flake for allowing this process to move forward. There's some difference of opinion among us as to what exactly the FBI investigation would consist of. Some of us think it has been concluded and supplemented by this committee's investigation. Others disagree with that. But I respect the fact that not only Senator Flake advocated to give Dr. Ford a chance to appear in front of the committee, which was the right thing to do, but also that he's allowed this process to move forward, subject to further discussions about what the FBI may or may not be able to come up with. But certainly he maintains his right to cast his vote yea or nay as he sees fit, and maintains significant leverage that way. But I appreciate his
basically all they're doing right now is grandstanding and
Judge Kavanaugh, as well as his willingness to allow this to go forward, subject to his request.
Mr. Chairman?
Mr. Chairman.
Senator Blumenthal, I think I ought to call on Senator Feinstein. And then,
if I, through the chair, could ask a question of Senator Flake, does your amendment include continuing the investigation during this period of time?
If I can respond, there is no amendment. I'm simply stating, and the discussion that we had between us all is that I would hope, and I think we had some agreement before, that the Democrats who have been, I think, justifiably uncomfortable moving ahead could publicly, in an effort to bring this country together, say that we would feel better. I'm not expecting them to vote yes, but not to complain that an FBI investigation has not occurred. And this is what I'm trying to do. This country is being ripped apart here, and we've got to make sure that we do due diligence. I think this committee has done a good job, but I do think that we can have a short pause and make sure that the FBI can investigate.
Hey,
my understanding is that
welcome
some of us
back.
would have to, and I'm prepared to do it.
So far, right now, they're still debating on whether or not they want to have an investigation and what they want to
the current allegations
do going forward. So basically, it's still
I would just encourage the Democrats who we talked to before to endorse that kind of thing, that we can then move on.
Yeah.
Mr. Chairman.
because of the 2-hour rule, we're adjourned.
What?
What?
The 2-hour rule.
No vote.
When did we come in?
What?
Okay, surrounding more high drama here.
Oh, come on.
On Capitol Hill. The Senate Judiciary Committee has just voted to send Brett Kavanaugh's nomination to the full Senate for a vote early next week. That was an 11-10 vote. However, as part of that process, Senator Jeff Flake of Arizona said he would only voted to move the process forward. He said he will not vote in favor of Kavanaugh being confirmed next week on the full floor.
What 2-hour rule?
He sees an
What
FBI
2-hour
investigation
rule?
of
Good.
up to 1 week
This,
into the allegations of Christine
this
Blasey
doesn't
Ford.
make any
We
sense.
saw a lot take place just there right now as these negotiations continue. And please continue. Ed O'Keefe is standing by, Ed.
They just said something about a 2-hour rule.
Jeff, this is
and they just
an incredible development, but it's exactly what the Senate's designed for. Essentially, the leverage and all the attention now shifts from the committee room.
They just said something about a 2-hour rule.
100 senators and not just the 21.
And because of
there is say, I'm not going to vote for the motions to proceed to formal debate in the full Senate.
Because of a 2-hour rule, now they're dismissing or whatever. I don't know.
Week-long FBI investigation, and he did that most likely knowing that he's not.
I don't know
the
what the
Republican
heck
who
is
feels
going
that way.
on right
Remember,
now.
At this hour, we're still waiting to hear what.
I know, it's like what? The chairman just goes, because of the 2-hour rule, we are now.
About how they might vote. So remember, we have 51 Republicans, we have 49 members of the Democratic caucus. If more than one votes no on any motion,
I know, it's like, really?
On the floor of the Senate right now, it's dead in the water. So Flake is saying, I, and presumably a handful of other Republicans, don't want to proceed until we know that there's some kind of an FBI investigation underway.
Then the up in the air votes, it would if the.
Okay, so right now, what I'm understanding, what I'm getting from this whole thing is, the chairman of the House, the chairman of the Senate Judiciary Committee just announced the 2-hour rule and dismissed for the day or whatever, and they are now going to recess or whatever, I guess. There is a there is now a desire from several members of the Republican side of the Senate to have a full investigation started by the FBI within the next week that will hopefully put to rest whatever questions or concerns are in the senators' minds, and after that we will either see a major turnaround from the entire committee, or we will see that Kavanaugh is confirmed and therefore once again politics trump, no pun intended, Trump truth in a way. I don't know what to think about this. I don't know what to say about this right now. I'm just kind of pissed because once again we're hitting a brick wall with this whole thing and it's not really getting anywhere. I mean, what the hell is wrong with America that we can't even take something as simple as just making a decision to confirm or deny a person's position within our government without making it into a circus, making it into a sham. I mean, what is Kavanaugh nomination is going to the full Senate after a week-long delay so the FBI can investigate. This was initiated by GOP Senator Flake of the Republican Party on the Senate. Currently, we are not seeing exactly there. It's not clear at this point what way the votes will fall following said investigation. However, Senator Flake has called to delay the full Senate Kavanaugh vote until after the week is up and after the investigation is completed. So we will see what's going on following all of this, but I feel like this whole thing has kind of just been a confusing and possibly just pointless pursuit of a middle ground, so to speak, because after all, party lines are always drawn before big events, and those party lines often just influence the party's commitment to whatever it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any, and it doesn't really help me understand anything any better, but hopefully it helps you understand more. Hopefully this helps you to realize just how bad the country is getting. If you're one that wanted to know what's going on, well, here you go. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and just take my leave for the day. I'm exhausted, and as much as I love being here on the stream with you guys, I do have other things to take care of before I leave for the weekend, and one of them is mainly just having a let me think for just a moment. Let me think. I'm not sure exactly. It was a pointless thing to try and imagine that we could come to a conclusion that would make everybody happy. It was a pointless thing to hope for. And now we have to do this all over again next time. God. The way our country works. Woohoo. I love you all very much. I hope you guys have a wonderful evening, a wonderful day. I will see you all again Monday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I will try to be on the stream and loving every minute of it. And I hope you guys have a wonderful evening, a wonderful day. Take care of yourselves. I love you very much. I'll be back when the day is new, and I'll have more ideas for you, and you'll have things that you'll want to talk about. I will too. Have a great one.